We're back. We're back with another back workout. So that's a back-to-back back workouts, trifecta of back workouts. And it's not because I only train once a week and only train back. It's because that last video I uploaded, where I used the mic and all that, I edited it on my phone. And holy shit, it took 2.5 hours of tapping the screen so my phone wouldn't lock and it actually uploaded. And then by the time I uploaded it, the whole process took about 3 hours. So we've changed the game. We're talking DaVinci Resolve, a MacBook, a new SSD drive. We've worked out the mics, so we should just have my voice playing. So, it should be all good. But it's not going to be in the same gym, so don't worry, you're not going to be watching basically the same video twice if you watch the last one. We're changing it up. We're at Everlast Gym. We're going to do back again. But one thing I do like about Everlast Gym is it uses my one specifically, my local one. It's all Nautilus machines, which are, for me, I do really like them. They've got a mixture of the plate loaded machines and also the cable machines. So I'm going to try this back workout, tweak around a few little things so it's really, we're hitting the muscle hard. Trained arms yesterday, so my arms were already a bit tight, so I think I need to do like 1 set of arms today. But yeah, so I'll see you on the other side. Turns out I have decided to train back on a day that everyone and their nan has decided to train back. So I wanted to do cable row, but we're not going to complain, we're not going to whine. We change up, we use machine, and again another Nautilus machine, pretty solid bit of kit. This might have to be the first video I put in the workout. I've been a silly boy and I might not have turned the mics on for the first half of the video. So we'll see. We'll see. If I have, then I'll just do a little montage at the beginning, then switch back to the mic after. But I'm a bodybuilder, I'm not a flipping videographer. It's a quick, easy set of 10. Just let my body know the movement I'm about to do before I smash it with some heavy circles. Feeling good? Feeling pretty good. We'll be chucking another 20 plate either side though. Alright, added a plate either side, so it should be a bit heavier. Working on that heavier working set. See how this is. Same again, I think we're going for an 8 rep max. I'll double check in a minute. But I don't think this is going to be my working set just yet, so I'm not too stressed about whether or not I'm doing too many reps. But as long as it's not more than 12, it's fine. Anything more than 12, we're doing cardio. Still pretty clean reps. Easy sets of 10, so we will be going up in weight. I'll double check what sets of reps I'm supposed to be doing, but still counting this as a little warm-up set. Easy, 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 easy. All right, we've got 3 plates either side. This is probably going to be my working set. We've got to do set of 8 to failure. And you might think that's not many sets, but once you find that working set the right way, depending on how many movements or exercises you've got in the workout, You don't want to be smashing yourself too much on one workout because you've got to save some energy for the other exercises because they're just as important. So yeah, do the set of 8 to failure, then moving on. I think after this we've got close grip, lat pull down. I think. All right, let's get it. Heavy set, perfect reps. Come on. Definitely found that working set weight. It's feeling heavy. Feeling pumped. Feeling tight and pumped. Narrow grip pull down. We've got 3 working sets. 1 of 8, 1 of 12, and 1 of 15. So work up to that top set and then we'll back off slightly after. Yeah, should be alright to warm up that weight. Oosh. Easy set 12. Really bad habit for certain gyms that I have. I'm sure it's the same case for everyone is. When you're surrounded by mirrors, you tend to look at yourself in the mirror and train. And that's fine. It's like you're looking forward or so on. But the idea of any movement you're doing, because you're putting your body under stress, you want to keep your spine neutral. And a lot of people forget that, forget that includes your neck. So if I went back straight but then I'm turning towards this way to look at myself in the mirror over there, I'm going to put an undue stress on my body, and it's so easily done and it's so easily cause like a twinge or something. So just focus on that, because I notice a lot of deadlifts or squats, they'll stare at themselves in the mirror and you notice, you don't notice it when you're doing it because obviously you're lifting heavy, but you're rotating your neck, doing all this whilst you're doing a heavy set. It's dangerous. But yeah, it's just food for thought. Something to bear in mind when you're lifting heavy, you're surrounded by mirrors. Oh. Right, straight into that second set, working up to that top set. Good set of 10. Probably not heavy enough, so we'll chuck the weight up and that'll probably be our working set of 8 before we start peeling back on the weight and doing more reps. Alright, moving on to that working set of 8. And then start dropping the weight by 5 to 10 kilo to get those extra 2 reps. And then there's one more back exercise and then on to biceps. So yeah, let's get it. Might jump the weight too much there, but I got 7 reps, 7 alright reps. We added those partial reps in at the end, so although I can get a full rep, I'm trying to make up for it with those partial reps around half doing reps. And a lot of people are like, oh, you're half repping, but still trying to do it under control, still keep that muscle under tension. So rather than doing reps where I'm cheating the weight and throwing it around, at least I'm still trying to control it. But everyone's always got something to say, haven't they? So who fucking knows? All right, dropping off. Drop to 2 plates. Onto that set of 12. And then for a final set of 15. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah. Probably noticed I dropped weight on, I think it was around the 10th rep. I put the weight down to adjust my hands, and I think it's a bit like cheating, but realistically, I don't care how much I'm lifting. What I care about is the stress I'm putting under. I've got my muscle under. So if I have to put the weight down to like readjust my grip, or my hands have slipped slightly, I'd rather do that to really target my focus in the areas I want to grow, than having that set of 12 that I managed to muscle my way through. Like, my goal isn't weight, my goal is aesthetics. So I think a big part of building that physique, especially for stage, isn't necessarily hurling heavy, stupid weights around. Yes, obviously we love lifting heavy weight, but also to be able to get that good frame, you need to really focus on the reps and sets that you're putting in. So I'd rather take that half a second break to put the weight down, readjust my grip and finish the set how I should be, then muscle my way through, and this arm's now fucking training harder, or so on. But yeah, it's just one of those, isn't it? One more set of 15, so we're gonna drop that weight again. And then I think we've got long rope pullovers, pull downs. So it's always a good finisher for back. And then on to a final set of a bicep curl. Final set, final exercise. So let's get started, final set. Really gonna focus on the stretch on this. Right. Done. You might notice if you got a keen eye, but when I do my reps sometimes, on back especially, like, my arms are quite strong for my back, so make sure my arms are trying to take less of the weight. Rather than wrapping my thumb around the bar, I'll put my thumb on the outside of the bar, so it's just my fingers that are hooked onto the bar. That way, my biceps shouldn't be too incorporated. Obviously they're incorporated, but not as much as far as wrapping around. Another trick I see people do is gun fingers. So if you hold your fingers like that, when you're doing this set, your biceps aren't engaged as much. So there's more focus on your lats. Because a big problem I used to have when I'm training back, my biceps were taking so much of the weight that I almost felt like my biceps were pumped, they felt tight, I'd get the DOMs and everything like that. But then my lats just felt like I almost broke a sweat. So yeah, give that one a go. If you think you're focusing on your biceps too much when you're lifting, do the gun fingers. Might look funny, but fuck it. Who gives a fuck? Right, pullovers. We were going to do long rope pullovers, but fancy changing it up slightly, so we're going to do seated pullovers. Really focus on that stretch. And get a back that we can be proud of. Do one of those funky little reflect off the camera, reflect off the mirror shots. I mean, there is a little break in between the mirrors, so I'm a bit broken up, but we move on. That's probably, I think that weight was a bit too light for that one, so we'll treat that as a warm-up. I think we're doing 2 sets of 12. So we'll treat that first one as if it was a warm-up, and then put the weight up now. Work up to our working set. Yeah. Whoa, look out for a groovy little angle. Reflecting off the mirror, getting in there. I don't know what I'm talking about. I think I've had too much pre-workout. We'll just do the set. Sweet. We'll do one more set. Bump up the weight. And I think that's back. Good. Good to see. We've done a good little back workout. We do an exercise of biceps. I'm thinking cable, bicep curl, single arm, ready for that stretch. Let's get it. Whoosh. Right, I did 3 plates. It might be quite, what's the word? I don't know what the word is. I don't know, but might be a bit too much, but we'll see how we do. Really push for his final failure reps. Drive that stimulus into the lats. Wow. Definitely took the last one to failure, but might not be the cleanest rep, but push for that 12. Try to push for that last rep. We got what we could. I feel like back done. Feeling pretty pumped. Arms looking good. Do an exercise of biceps then. Call it quits before I do cardio for half an hour. Sweet. So out of the 6 cable machines there are, all 6 are being used, and I'd say 4 of them are being used by people flicking through their phones. So we'll change it up. We won't do cable, bicep curl. We're just going to go for a simple barbell. Take it old school. Really focus on that stretch. Do 3 sets of 12 before we call it quits and do some cardio. You don't have to stick around for that. Oh, first. Solid 12. Solid 12. Only 35 kilo, which I'd rather sacrifice the weight I'm lifting for better reps. I could try and muscle through stupid weight, but I feel like I'm trying to send as much signal and as much stress into the bicep as I can. So that time and attention is really important, and that full range of motion. So I'd rather sacrifice a couple of kilos off the weight I'm lifting to really drive the stimulus into muscle as much as I can, then have a heavy weight I can ego lift. There's always a time and place for that, but and you're really trying to get into the nitty gritty of building a solid frame, it's smart to leave that ego out of the gym and just focus on the weight that you are lifting. Oh. Second set. Oh. Oh. We cheated that last rep. You can tell because I start swinging my hips and my body gets more involved, which I don't mind as long as it's not too like as in my biceps aren't working as much. But if I am going to cheat that rep, I'll make sure that on that eccentric I'm still controlling it as much as I was with the last rep, because otherwise you're more swinging the weight around, and yes, you're going to get some stimulus to the muscle, but not the kind of stimulus we want for building.